Well, this time of year, it seems like everything turns pink, like Lisa's jacket. And the goal, of course, is to raise awareness of breast cancer.
It's a cause so close to many of our hearts. Just think about it. You probably know someone who has been affected by the disease. A family member, a friend, a coworker, maybe yourself. According to breastcancer.org, about 1 in 8 women, that's about 12%, will develop invasive breast cancer at some point in their life. A woman's risk of developing the disease just about doubles if her mother, sister, or daughter has breast cancer.
But it's not all in the family. Breastcancer.org reports about 85% of breast cancer occurs in women who have no family history of the disease. Now, don't be mistaken, the disease is not limited to women, and we'll get to how it impacts men in just a little, but the most significant risk factor for developing breast cancer is, in fact, your gender. And the truth is, breast cancer does affect more women than men.
But another misconception is that it only impacts older women. And while age can certainly play a role, the next woman we want to introduce you to is proof this disease does not discriminate.
All right, Sissy.
This is a typical day for single mom Ryan Summer Wooten. 6-year-old Chase and 3-year-old Haley are full of energy. In 2013, Ryan Summer and her kids moved to be closer to family. When one day, while showering, she found a lump in her breast, so she immediately went to see her doctor.
And so I told the doctor that, and we went back and forth. She says, well, you're 29 years old, you know, you're healthy. And I said, well, this is not normal for me. And so she referred me to a breast surgeon. I got into the breast surgeon. They did an outpatient biopsy of the swollen lymph node. And the next day I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Like, you never forget that second. And I just like, okay. So immediately, that day, as a matter of fact, I have my Bibles right over there behind you, but like the first thing I did was I went to the Bible Christian bookstore, I bought a Bible, I wrote down the date, and it's just like the day your life changed. But I just gave it to God, and I just said, okay, whatever this is, so I'm going to get through it. Because my daughter was 1 year old, my son was 4, and I wanted her to know her mom.
The tumor was large and aggressive, so she first started chemotherapy to shrink it. Within 2 weeks, Ryan Summer started losing her hair, but she knew it was a small price to pay for her healing. After 6 rounds, the tumor was gone. Ryan Summer then had surgery and radiation and is now cancer-free. She's sharing her story in hopes of encouraging other women, especially minorities, about the importance of early detection.
I really pray and hope that I get the words and the passion to be able to communicate in my community and amongst African American women like myself, just how important it is, and that being a survivor is a blessing.
Ryan Summer was fortunate that she felt the lump in her breast. The National Breast Cancer Foundation suggests women of all ages perform breast self-exams at least once a month. If you notice any changes, you'll want to contact your doctor.
As we've heard, early detection is key, but many women are still diagnosed each year. And of course, while many are diagnosed, many are also beating it. And joining us today to share her story is Pam Wolf, breast cancer survivor. Pam, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I know it wasn't too long ago, but take us back to when you were diagnosed.
Last November, I was diagnosed with invasive ductal breast cancer, and before I was diagnosed, I hadn't detected any lumps or anything like that, but I happened to be cleaning one day and found blood on the front of my shirt and was, quite alarmed and called my physician, and he immediately started the whole process. I had a mammogram, an ultrasound, and then had an MRI of my breast, and then saw a surgeon and had 3 different biopsies done.
Wow.
And after I had the biopsies done, it was determined that I had invasive ductal breast cancer. I actually had 2 types. I had DCIS, which is non-invasive, and then I had invasive ductal breast cancer.
And that was actually your first mammogram.
My first mammogram, yeah. I was not taking it very seriously because I didn't have a history in my family that I was aware of.
Now, we heard in that story, Ryan Summer said that she actually wrote down the day that her life changed, and it is life-changing, isn't it?
It is absolutely life-changing. First and foremost, you get on like a roller coaster ride of your emotions. When you get diagnosed, you're first overwhelmed because you're thinking in your mind it's the last thing you think is going to happen to you. And then secondary to that, then the processes that you have to go through to determine the type of cancer, the level of cancer, and then the treatment for the cancer just becomes, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, well, that diagnosis and the treatment you said is overwhelming, and organizations are out there to help. Tell us about Women Supporting Women.
Women Supporting Women. I met them the first time when I went to my surgeon's office, and after he gave me my diagnosis, he handed me a pink bag, and in that bag was just all kinds of wonderful information. There were things in it that helped me during chemo, all kinds of things. But that was the first introduction I had, was a pink bag. And I hadn't really any intentions of crossing the threshold. But I didn't know enough about breast cancer, and they were the ones that were there. I mean, immediately, not the surgeon, but they handed me that in their office, and I start looking at this stuff, and I determined just by what they had handed me that they knew a lot more than I did about breast cancer, and so I needed to meet these people.
And you said they told you stuff that your doctors didn't even tell you.
They absolutely gave me information that the doctors didn't give me, that no other woman had shared with me. They empowered me to make good choices about how my treatment was going to go.
So how can we get involved with the organization?
It's a great organization, and every woman out there needs to be a part of it, whether she has breast cancer or not, because we all know someone who does. This Saturday, on October the 10th, there's going to be a walk at the Winter Place Park. It's a 3-mile walk, and it's a fundraiser for Women Supporting Women, which is a grassroots organization in our community. It's not like the other organizations which get a phenomenal amount of money coming in. This is a small group of women that are really doing a rubber meets the road kind of ministry in our community. And it starts at 8:30 is registration. The actual walk begins at 10. They're going to have a dunk tank for people like Lisa.
Yes, it's true.
are going to be
I am going to be in a dunk tank, so yeah, come out and give me your best shot.
And you can bring your dogs, and there's going to be a contest if you have your dogs dressed in pink for the cutest dog dressed in pink. But mostly it's for survivors and their support system, and creating money to go back into this environment so that other women like me can be helped.
I want to ask you one more question. What would you say to a woman that maybe they just got diagnosed with breast cancer and they're feeling like you felt? What would you say to them?
Don't be afraid to reach out. By nature, women are very independent. We take care of our families, we take care of our parents, we take care of the world. And it's hard for us to be in a position where we need help. So don't be afraid to reach out. And an organization like Women Supporting Women makes it easy.
All right, Pamela, thank you so much. Looking forward to the event on Saturday. And if you'd like more information about Women Supporting Women, visit our website, WBOC.com. Click on our picture at the top of the page. You can also get information about the walk. Well, a common misconception is that only women are diagnosed with breast cancer. Coming up next, we hear more about breast cancer in males, how one man is doing since his diagnosis and treatment, and why he's choosing to be an advocate for all males living with breast cancer.
Plus, one group here on Delmarva is hard at work to make men and women living with cancer feel less alone. How they do it and how you can help. Next.
And since we've been talking about breast cancer detection, are you covered? Dr. Oz has more on how you can know for sure.
Hi, I'm Dr. Oz. The Affordable Care Act's open enrollment period for 2016 starts November 1st. The Affordable Care Act covers certain preventative screenings at no cost to you. These include cholesterol tests, colonoscopies, plus services for women like cervical cancer screenings, mammograms, and domestic violence counseling.